Hey guys, Jay here. So in this video today, I want to talk just a little bit about the recent content reveal for patch 0.3, the third edict. This is the next patch for Path of Exile 2 beta. Well, let's keep it in mind. This game is not finished. Anyway, this patch is absolutely huge. There is one big L that I would like to address first, which is there is no new class this time. The previous patch we have the Huntress, the Spear, and a whole new set of skill. This patch, they are actually trying to focus on fixing the stuff that people are not liking, and also trying to balance and buff a bunch of skill to make more things viable. And there are drastic changes to the point where I think, even though there's no new class in the game, the changes actually make us like probably equals to 2, 3 new classes because of how much the skills have changed. They add a bunch of new Keystone that has special effect. For example, Hollow Palm is a very attractive to try out, at least from a build creator or build enthusiast point of view. We also have the I recall from the live stream they showed the Keystone that allow you to trigger your invocation for every 2 seconds and it gain no energy. So I think that is automation, right? So probably if you hold down the button, it will just trigger every 2 seconds. That is what I think, what I understand the Keystone to be. But well, long story short, we will need to try it in the game and see how it works. I don't know exactly how it works just by watching the live stream here. And also we have the fire convert to chaos. So Ignite also deals chaos damage, and all chaos damage contribute to Ignite. That is a build defining keystone. And at face value, you might think that, hey, you need to use a fire skill and then it converts to chaos and then ignite. So there's still the problem of there is not a lot of like big hitting fire skill, big damage fire skill. But in fact, if you can convert or if you can use a chaos skill or you can convert any skill into chaos damage, that skill can then ignite. So that is very build defining and opened up a lot of opportunity for new builds, for cool stuff to happen. Yeah, I really liked it. There is also the fact that they change the interaction between the elemental spells. They make it easier and more intuitive to actually build around multiple elemental spells. For example, they make all the three curses that reduce enemies' resistance into one elemental weakness. I think that is just a no-brainer. And then they also make exposure basically from like Frostbomb skill into elemental exposure instead of like just one elemental, right? So there's a lot of positive changes. There is a bunch of very cool skill, and one of them I have to say is probably this skill that you are about to see on the screen here. It is this one. Forge Hammer. Probably I would try some iteration of this one early on. I think it looks kind of OP, at least for like a campaign. I think if you can do this against like campaign bosses, I don't think any bosses with a decent weapon, any bosses can actually survive this. So seems like the warrior is going to have a bunch of new toys to play around with. That looks really cool. They also fixed Molten Blast. It no longer forces your movement, so it feels like shit when playing. Yeah, in general, all the skill balances, all the new stuff that they are adding to the game for the existing classes helps to fill in the need of a new class. At least that is what I think. Look at this. This is insane. Ancestral Cry. This thing looks insane with the hammer skill that we just see, right? So it is just every step you are going to trigger Aftershock for these Fisher. And look at this. This is just insane. Thematically super cool, and it seems like it is going to deal a shit ton of damage. So I am really looking forward to this one. With all the changes they have do here, I have to say one thing. Normally I am a 0 button or 1 button build enjoyer, but with all the changes that I've seen here, all the effort that they are trying to make to incentivize playing more skills in combo, this time there is a bunch of just a combination that I think looks pretty cool, and then a bunch that I I have in my head, and I think it can be cool that I would like to try out. So maybe, if you watch this channel and if you are expecting build, there might be more like a 2-button, maybe even 3-button, God forbid, build in this channel instead of just 0 and 1 button. So yeah, hey, at least I will need to try the Forge Hammer and Ancestral Cry combo. It looks just wicked cool. Thematically, that is my fantasy for a like warrior class. It looks amazing again. Other than that, there is a bunch of other changes I will not mention here. It will be too long of a video. I don't want to make this video a long video. I want it to be short. So except for the endgame changes, there's new addition to crafting. Crafting should be more accessible throughout the early progression as well as in the end game. You should have more options. And yeah, the change to support gem should incentivize you to use more skill as well. I forgot to mention that. No limitation to 1 support gem per character. Now you can just infinitely just get all support gem. And that also means they need to change the Gemling Legionnaire Ascendancy a little bit in order to, you know, just reflect the changes to the new system, right? We also have the new trade system. This is the last big thing, and it is really damn big. So this is the evolution of trade. You list it on the forum in the early days, and then people have to go to the forum, search for the item, look, see what they like, and ping you in the game, hoping you are online. Now, this is the average trading experience. You whisper someone for a 2 exalted, 1 exalted item, they are AFK, so you cannot do anything. So now they add a new system into the game. This is the merchant. Basically, it is not like an auction house. It is still the same system that you go to the website, the trade website, and you search for the item. But you can click a button that will just immediately teleport you into the player's hideout. And then you can purchase the item from the merchant. So right now, there are actually 2 ways to trade, 2 ways that you can list your item. One way is through the merchant tab. So people can go to your hideout and buy out your item at the buyout price that you set. So if you have an item listed for a divine, people will come to your hideout, pay a divine to the merchant, and then they will take the item. But you can also still, for an item that you maybe are uncertain on the price, maybe you don't want to just sell it for the buyout price, you want to take offers, you want to do like mirror service. I'm not like familiar with that because I never make a mirror item. I do have some mirror tier item before, but it is all mirrored. I did not craft and then mirror service myself. So you can still do the traditional stash tab and list it for a price, and then people will still have to interact with you in the same way as before. But the thing is, right now you have an option to immediately sell, even if you are offline or AFK. So that is extremely big for the general experience of trading, which is a very big part of the game if you play in Trade League, and majority of player plays in Trade League. So yeah, I do think in general we have just W after W with this patch. There's a lot of cool stuff that they are releasing. Yeah, did I mention? I think I did not mention. They add Act 4, by the way. So we no longer have to do Cruel. So if running a campaign 2 times for 1 character is not something you are liking, then you should be very happy with this change. They are adding Act 4, and then to fill in the void of Act 5 and 6, which is coming in the next patches. We don't know when they are going to be released, but you know, anyway, they are adding a bunch of interlude acts. So they are basically like toned down version of endgame stuff that you are supposedly having in the final game, in the final release. But they are toned down because those are done. So they are just adding them into the game in a campaign version. And they are going to act as like filler for the Act 5 and 6, and you have to complete the interlude before you get into the endgame system, which is mapping or waystoning, if you want to call it that way, which is very weird, and you should not do it. But anyway, that is everything. Basically, again, we have a cool new patch, a lot of new bosses, a lot of new monster, a lot of new areas. In general, for the game, I think this is a very, very, very good patch, insanely good patch from all that we see so far from the content reveal. If you are like an endgame player per se, if you want a lot more content, I don't think this patch add a lot more content in the endgame. They did fix a bunch of things in the endgame, but they didn't mean they add a lot of to it. They add the abyss. So abyss mechanic is now in the game. So there's one new way to actually play the game to farm in the end game, but still there's just one mechanic. So I do think, right, they did not touch anything on the tower system and all of that. So I do think if you are a end game focused player who care about just like farming, currency farming, accumulating wealth, and then flexing to other people or whatever reason you are doing it, this is not really a big patch for you. They are just trying to fixing the game balance wise, build diversity wise, and then adding more content in the game for the campaign because, hey, they need to finish the campaign, right? They said there will be 6 acts, so they need to deliver 6 acts. And just as PoE traditional fashion, it would be logical for them to add one new piece of endgame content every single league or every single patch in this case. Yeah, eventually after like 1 year, 2 years, maybe even more, like PoE1, it is more than 10 years, you will have like a convoluted game and very bloated, a lot of system combined together. It will become a crazy madness like PoE1 eventually, at least for the way that you can play in the end game. So that is everything I wanted to talk about in this video. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you are as excited as I am for this patch. It looks really, really promising. A lot of skill, even though it's old, it got buffed, it got changed. So it feels like a new skill from the face value looking at it. This is Volcanic Fissure. It looks way cooler, right? So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Probably from now until the actual launch of POE2, I will try out, I will play a little bit of Last Epoch. It seems like a very cool update as well. Seems like the Last Epoch people are, the developer are moving toward making us basically, they are working on a model just like PoE. So they are constantly updating the game. They are constantly just trying to improve the game. So I think eventually Last Epoch will just become like better and better. It will provide more longevity for the gameplay, probably. But even as it is at the current state of being a game that you will play for like a week or so, you can enjoy 1-2 builds for a week, beat the game, and then you move on to another game. That is perfectly fine. I think this Last Epoch patch will also be a W. Just a side note there. I will be staying on top of the update for POE2, and probably would just cover POE2 in this channel because of how YouTube works. If I post a Last Epoch video, it will screw up a bunch of different things for some reason for the channel. So yeah, I'll play Last Epoch, but I will still be covering POE. That is basically the gist of it. So again, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.